Hi, my name's Neil. I'm not a hairdresser, but for the past 5 years I've been helping my partner run her hair salon. I've been looking after the finances and systems and all the challenges that come with running a salon from day to day. In this channel, I hope to share with you everything that we've learned along the way and everything that we're still learning, and hopefully can help you avoid some of the mistakes that we made. So today, I'm going to walk you through 7 questions that you need to ask yourself before you decide to start your own salon business. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first question you'll want to answer is, why do you want to open your own hair salon? There could be loads of different reasons why you want to do it, but you need to be really clear on what your why is. Are you fed up working for somebody else, being told what to do by somebody who doesn't even cut hair? Do you want to make more money? Are you looking for freedom? Or do you want to create something you can be proud of? Or are you trying to prove something to somebody else, or even to yourself? Whatever answer you give to these questions, there is no right and wrong. You just need to be really clear on what your why is. Because when things get tough, and believe me, they will get tough at times, you need to be really clear on why you're doing what you're doing. Is it about creating, or is it about escaping? So take time to think about this one. What's really driving you? Take out a journal, write down your thoughts, revisit it every couple of weeks, and really question yourself as to what is your deep drive to want to run a hair salon. That will be your fuel, and that will be your anchor when times get tough. The second question you want to ask yourself is, am I ready to take on the business side of things and not just the hair? Let's be honest, most people get into being a hairdresser because they love hair, not because they love spreadsheets and systems and budgeting and marketing and everything else that goes with it. But when you open your own salon, something changes. You go from being a stylist to being a boss, because now you're suddenly the marketing manager, the floor manager, the bookkeeper, the HR department, the stock controller, the cleaner, the systems builder, and yes, still a stylist on top of all that. The question shouldn't be, do I know how to do all those things today? The question should be, am I willing to learn those things? Or am I willing to get other people on board to help me out with those things? If your gut reaction is, I don't want to deal with all of that crap, then that's not necessarily a deal breaker. It just means that you need to get the right team in place to support you. In our salon, it's worked really well. My partner, Clea, she just loves doing hair and she's an artist. I am there to help her with all of this boring stuff. So when you figure out the business side of things, or get the right people in place to help you out, that's when it gets exciting. The next question you should ask yourself is, do I have a loyal client base who will follow me when I start my own gig? Clients are the fuel of your salon. It doesn't matter how beautiful the fit out of your space is, or how great your Instagram looks, or how passionate you are about your job. If you don't have the clients, then you don't have a business. If you've already built up a strong reputation, and you have clients who come back again and again and again, and you've built that relationship with them, then you're in a really good position to go out on your own. These super fans will follow you to a new location, no problem, even if your prices are more expensive than where you currently are. People want to deal with you for the quality of service you give them and for the relationship that you've built with them. In a study by Forest Salon Software, they found that the average retention rate for clients is roughly 30%. I mean, that's crazy, right? So check to see how many of your clients are returning regularly. If it's 60 or 70%, then I think you're in a really good space. And on day one, you'll be off to a flying start. Now you'll want to ask yourself, what's going to be different about the salon service that I offer compared to everybody else? Let's be honest, salons are everywhere. You can't walk down any street essentially in any city, but there's going to be a hair salon, maybe multiple. So you need to do something different to capture people's attention so that they walk by other salons and come to you. A lot of people might say, well, I work hard, I do good hair, I care about my clients. But in fairness, that's what every hairstylist thinks. And that's great, but they're not differentiators. They don't set you apart from your competition. Clients assume that you're good at hair. They expect you to take care of them. They want you to be passionate about your job. You need to give them something slightly different to what anybody else can give them. And oftentimes, the thing that's different is you. It's your vibe, it's your story. It could be the niche that you offer, or maybe your values. Your point of difference can be big or small, but it has to be intentional. In a world of sameness, your salon has to stand for something. So ask yourself, who do I really want to serve? How do I want people to feel when they walk in and when they walk out? And look, this doesn't mean that you can't be a generalist. You just need to have a clear voice and a clear reason why people should choose you. And once you have that, you lean into it. Because when people are aligned with your difference, they'll become raving loyal fans. The next question's a bit dry. It's, can I afford to start? And can I afford to survive the quiet months? This is where dreams hit spreadsheets. And this is my territory. Starting a salon is exciting, but it's also expensive. And it's not just the startup costs you need to think about, it's the everyday running costs. Startup costs will vary depending on how you intend to get into business, what type of model you're using for your business. We'll discuss that in another video. The standard things you need to think about are, do I need to fit out the new space that I'm going to be working in? If so, you need to think about the materials you're going to use, the contractors you're going to need to install those fittings, what level of fittings are you going to use. You also need consents and approvals from your local authority. You may need licenses, you're going to need insurances and various different things like that. Ideally, you'd want about 3 months worth of running costs to cover your expenses. If something unexpected happens, you need to have the money to bridge those gaps. So really what you want to do is sit down and work through the actual figures for the salon setup and for that 3-month runway. If you're not there yet, if you don't have that kind of money, don't panic. This could just be a good time to start thinking about it. A few things you'll want to ask yourself at the start. Can I pay myself a salary? What's my break-even point? And what's my plan if revenue suddenly dips? Confidence in your finances equals confidence in your decisions. Next, you'll want to ask yourself, do I want to work alone or do I want to grow a team someday? This question might seem premature, especially when you're just starting out, but it's actually a really important question to ask yourself at this stage because it affects everything. Your space, your systems, your leadership style, your pricing, and even your stress levels. If you dream of having a small, peaceful studio with just yourself, then you can focus on personal branding and personal efficiency and making sure that you can deliver that kind of service. But if you see yourself leading a team, mentoring apprentices, and that you'd like to step away from the chair part-time, then you need to lay the foundations early. Because building a team isn't just about getting people. It's about having systems in place to ensure that you can hire the right people. You need people who fit the culture that you're trying to build in your salon. You need to be able to set clear expectations. And you need to have systems, processes and procedures that everybody can follow in exactly the same way. You owe it to yourself to figure out which one you want. Here's some food for thought. Do you enjoy mentoring juniors, or does that drain you? Do you thrive on collaboration, or do you prefer independence? Can you see yourself taking a holiday someday and your business continuing to run itself without you? There's no wrong answer, but there are wrong assumptions. And assuming your business will just figure itself out is not the way to go. If you don't decide the direction you want, you might just default to one. One isn't better than the other, but they're different roads, and you want to choose yours on purpose. Lastly, you want to ask yourself, are you building a business or are you just buying a job? This question might feel a wee bit confronting, but it's one of those ones you need to ask yourself to ensure you're setting yourself up for long-term success. There's a big difference in being self-employed and being a business owner. If you're self-employed, you trade time for money. You do everything yourself. You only make money when you're behind the chair. And you carry all the risk and responsibility with no backup. And for some, that's fine. It's still a step up from working for somebody else. But if you're not careful, you'll end up with more hours, more stress, and more pressure than you ever had as an employee. On the other hand, if you build a business, you'll want systems in place so that things can work without you. You'll want to create a brand that's bigger than just your name, and you'll want to give yourself the option to step away from the chair in the long run and create a business that can continue without you, without everything falling apart. Robert Kiyosaki says, business owners don't work for money, they build assets that make them money. Even if you're starting solo, you can set out with this mindset. It might look like creating rebooking systems, building a brand people trust, not just a person they like, tracking your numbers so you can make smart decisions, documenting all of your processes so somebody else can take over someday, and learning to delegate before you feel ready. The test needs to be, if you got sick for a week, would your business still be able to make money without you, or would your income drop to $0? You don't need to have a massive team or to franchise your business to be a business owner. You just need to make decisions that create space, consistency, and sustainability, so the business doesn't just rely on you. That's how you get freedom. That's how you build something that lasts. And that's how you create your dream by running your own salon. So, are you able to answer those 7 questions with confidence? Or do some of them give you pause to think? If so, that's the point. The questions aren't there to scare you off. They're there to help you build something that's sustainable and profitable. If you want help planning what type of salon that you're going to open, check out my next video. I'll link it on the screen and in the description. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and subscribe so other stylists can find it. Thanks for watching, and remember, you don't have to do it alone.